Alright, here we go. Check. Okay, audio. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the AfroMattt Show. This is episode number 171. This is, I'm recording this on a Sunday. It's probably going to be up on a Monday. It's pretty much midnight, so chances are it's up tomorrow. So I did finish 2 books. So guys, if you don't like the book segments, skip ahead 10 minutes. If you want to stay for the book segment, here it is. I read A Shining, not to be confused with The Shining. This is by Jon Fosse, or someone said his name is Jon Fosse, which, if this is how you spelled your name and you go by Jon Fosse, stop. This is Jon Fosse, or Jon Fosse, maybe. This book kind of tricked me with the thing that says National Book Award finalist, because technically this book isn't the National Book Award finalist. The author is a National Book Award finalist. This book was about a guy who keeps on driving, and he drives and he goes left and right and then left and left and right until he ends up on a deserted, back street in the middle of some woods, farmland. He passes a cabin out in the middle of nowhere, and he gets stuck. He gets his car lodged on a mound. And he decides to get out of the car and drive and just walk into the forest. Now, obviously, this is a book, drenched in, allegory or metaphor, because it's not like a story about an actual guy who goes into the actual woods to kill himself. What I thought happened is, this is a book about addiction, and I don't know anything about Jon Fosse, but it gave me it gave me feelings of addiction, because when he goes into the woods, he gets lost and he gets really cold and it starts to snow, and he sees this figure of light made completely of light and illuminating around the edges of the figure, and it comes towards him and it doesn't say anything for a while, and then he talks to it and he's like, "Who are you?" and then it disappears. And this whole the phrasing of it pretty much is, there's not a single paragraph in the entire thing. Every page is just a block of text. But it's really easy to read. I read it in literally like one sitting, because it's phrased like this. It's like super quick sentences. It's like, "But I don't want to touch the presents, because I'm sure that if I reach out my arms to touch the presents, I won't feel anything. The presents will be just like empty air. And yet the presence is standing there now in front of me. It's less like a couple feet away, and it's probably a woman. If the presence..." Okay, you get it. It's like super quick, simple sentences. I think that the book is about addiction, because there's a lot of parts where he's like, I could go back to my car. My car is safe and warm. But he keeps on kind of digging himself deeper and going deeper into the woods. And then eventually he meets his mother and father, and a man in a black hat, which I don't know what that is, but maybe death himself. But he takes off his shoes in the middle of the woods and joins his mother and father. And then the book ends. So, it's literally like a 70-page book. It was a really quick read. I enjoyed it. A lot of nice little details. Let's see if there's something I underlined here. No. And it's a man in a black suit who's leading them towards me. And there, yes, now I see the radiant presence is there too. My mother says, I have to come now. I can't stay sitting here on this stone. So yeah, his mother and father try to reach out to him and to help him. Obviously the end is he dies. So Spoiler alert, he walks into the forest alone in the middle of the night at freezing degrees and he dies. But I don't really, that's not really what happens. So that's book number 1. I mean, I gave it like I think a 7.5 out of 10. Now book number 2. This is Outer Dark by the man himself, Cormac McCarthy. Now, if you know anything about me, I love Cormac McCarthy. Probably a once in a lifetime author. I mean, his command of the English language is unmatched. Like, I feel like he's probably read, it literally feels like he's read an entire dictionary multiple times. Like, he knows words that aren't even really words. Like, I can't even think of the words they use. I can't even remember them. You literally have to skip over them and you have to like imagine what they mean. I was keeping track of the words that I didn't know in this book, and I had like 4 pages on a little notebook filled up, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Look, a sentence is like this. I just flipped to a random one. The sky grading into black wash, little lighter than the water about them, so that they seemed to hang in some great depths of darkness like spiders in a well. That's just beautiful vision. Like, let's see, another one. I like to underline the juicy bits. The window light had crept from the floor to the far wall, and the room lay traversed in a bronze bar in hovering dust. So, this story is about... Cormac McCarthy writes dark books, so this one is about a man and a woman who are siblings and bear a child. So, within the first couple pages, the sister gives birth to this child, and the brother, I guess, sees the child as evil and himself guilty. So he steals the child and leaves it in the middle of the woods. Within the first 5 pages, that's not a spoiler. So he leaves the child in the middle of the woods and goes back, and he's like, yeah, the kid died in the middle of the night. And the sister's like, what? He seemed pretty chill. He seemed fine. He's like, no, yeah, he definitely died. So then she goes out and tries to call his bluff, and she starts digging up the grave that he said he dug, and she sees no bones. So she's like, where is my child? So then he runs off, she runs off, and he runs to try to find her, but she like dodges and hides in the woods. So that's the story, and then it's just a journey of them traveling this mysterious countryside. I think it's set in the Appalachia Mountains, so it's like lots of forests. Great Plains, I guess, but she's trying to find this tinker that she thinks has her kid, and he's trying to find her. So it's them kind of circling around this town, and they always seem to just miss each other, and they run into some really crazy characters. Along the way, there's these 3 entities, and I call them entities because I don't even think they're really real people. They're I don't know how to even interpret them. They're obviously mythical in some sort of way. They appear always around the river. At the very end, he crosses the river on a ferry, and both the ferryman and the other person who was on the ferry die, and he's the only one who's alive when he crosses the ferry, and there they are. And it's this big, massive, a tense chapter of him sitting around this fire, and these 3 guys that are like, I don't know, they run up his shoes, so they ask him to take his shoes off because he has some really good shoes that he stole, and then they make him eat this food that is like, I don't even know, he said he can't chew it, and it feels like it expands in his mouth. It's fibrous, and when they throw it in the fire, it never burns. So it's like a mysterious food. These people are obviously mythical, and I think there was something to do with crossing the river by a literal ferryman. that maybe he was like passing into death or something. I mean, I don't know. But he chewed with his eyes half closed, and his face by the firelight hung in a mask of morbid tranquility like the faces of the drowned. Yeah, this is him talking to the people. Hard people make hard times. I've seen the meanness of humans till I don't know why God ain't put out the sun and gone away. So, I mean, this book is obviously about the badness in man, in mankind, and so many people say it in the book. They're like, he runs into, I mean, one of the coolest scenes, I think, in any book I've ever read is he comes across these they're like shepherds, but they're like herding pigs. I guess that's something they did in the day. On horse, they're walking around and they're herding these pigs, and it's the biggest pig herd they've ever seen, and they're going to be so rich. And they herd them, and they get spooked by something from behind, and they all just go spilling. All these pigs go, I guess hogs, go spilling over this mountain into this river, and it is like, it is incredible. Like the scene, it's like he's talking about let's see. Wow, faster than the bugs. I mean, there's so many spots I underlined on this. I'm just gonna read a couple more. I mean, really, there's no use in explaining Cormac McCarthy because it's a personal adventure when you read him. A huge horse emerging, seared and whole form. Wait, okay, I'm going to try to read that again. A huge horse emerging, seared and whole from the sun's eyes, and passing like a wrecked caravel, gaunt, ribbed, and black, and mad with tattered saddle and dangling stirrups and hoofs, clopping softly in the dust and passing enormous and immaculate, emaciate and inflamed, and the sound of it dying down the road in a distant echo of applause to the hall in a hall forever empty. I mean, he could have said, the horse went down the street. The drover had spun away, swept. Oh yeah, this is it. This is when all these pigs are going over the edge, and this one guy that he met earlier. Here it is. This is the scene. Now the entire herd had begun to wheel wired. Okay, guys, it's 12 o'clock in the middle of the night. Now the entire herd had begun to wheel wider and faster along the bluff, and the outermost ranks swung centrifugally over the escarpment row by row, wailing and squealing. And above this, the howls and curses of the drovers that now reared at the moil of the flesh they tended, and swept with dust, had begun to assume satanic looks with their staves and wide eyes, as if they were no true swineherds but disciples of darkness, got among these charges to herd them to their doom. The drover who had spoken to him swept past with bowed back and hands aloft, a limp and ragged scarecrow flailing briefly at the rabid frieze, so that Holm, that's the main character, saw tilted upon him for just a moment out of that dust and pandemonium, two walled eyes beyond hope and a dead mouth beyond prayer, born on some old gospel recant, seized sevenfold in the flood of his own nether invocations, or grotesque harrow bobbing, harried and unwilling to the shoulders of a mob stricken in their iniquity to the very shape of evil, until he passed over that rim and the bluff and dropped in his great retinue of the hogs from sight. So the guy went over, the sheep herder got carried with the herd and up over the hill. So, I mean, it's a very biblical. I mean, I have to give it a 10 out of 10 because it's Cormac McCarthy, and his writing is magical if you've never read it. But I'll tell you what what I think it's about. is it's about prophecy, it is about guilt, and it is about the sin of man on earth. And I think he uses, of course, the child. I won't spoil what happens to the child, their kid, but it's not good. It's not good. So he uses the child as a device of sin, and the mother, who is always portrayed as a good individual. The mother, her name is Rinthi Holm, and his name is Kola Holm, because once again, they're siblings. And she is always portrayed as a good person because she's purity, and she's, all the womanly traits. She doesn't have the greed. She doesn't have the she doesn't steal like Kola. So she represents all these good things, and then Kola throughout the book, he works, and then he steals, and he's kind of a beggar. He's always trying to get money, and I mean, I really can't even explain. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's good versus evil. I mean, it's everything a book should be, and I think this is probably one of my favorite Cormac McCarthy books, and it may be my absolute favorite. I mean, Cormac McCarthy is a once in a lifetime. Every single book you pick up by this man is the gold standard of literature. I mean, the fact that he died only 2 years ago, and he is the giant that is standing on all of the other shoulders of giants. He's read all the books. He is the gold standard. So if you want to read books that are perfect, read Cormac McCarthy. He is it is like, this is how I describe Cormac McCarthy to people. He's like Picasso, or not really Picasso, like Rembrandt or something. Like, every word is a precision, like surgically placed word. He spends 7 years on these books, and if you don't think that every single word is painstakingly, just thought over, he probably knows the entire book line by line in his head, and it feels like he's like, when they make like fancy dinners, and they put tweezers and they put like little garments on the top or whatever, or garnishes. It feels like he's using tweezers with every single word. It's amazing. I suggest you read it. That being said, let's get into the news. Oh, that's not the news. What is the news? Here it is. The news. There's a lot of news, actually. All right. What do we got cooking? Okay. When I saw this, and guys, I say this every single time I see this headline. I think I have deja vu every time I see this headline. U.S. to announce new $2.3 billion military aid package to Ukraine. It's either Ukraine, it's either Israel. Money is, we got, apparently the U.S. government has money burning a hole in their pocket. I don't know where they're getting this money, because they're not paying their debt with it. So, another $2.8 billion, because I hate money. I hate America having money. This package under Presidential Drawdown Authority will provide new air defense interceptors, anti-tank weapons. Also, I saw this video of Ukraine fighters. I guess I don't know what they are, but drone pilots, and they literally drive by the drone, and the Russian soldiers will look up and like wave a big white flag, and then they'll drop a payload from the drone and kill them both with an explosion. So I mean, guys, I don't know if that's even like, I mean, isn't there some sort of like Geneva Convention or like laws and ethics that we have during war? Like, are we doing prisoners of war anymore? Or are we just like dropping drone bombs on people that are defenseless? I mean, I don't know. But yeah, that video didn't really sit well with me. Yeah, anytime I open up Twitter, and the first thing that shows up is warning, extremely NSFW war footage. And then it's like a video that is Gaussian blurred, and you have to uncensor it. I'm like, man, I don't want to click on it. I don't want to click on it. It's like, this is what's going on in Gaza right now. And it's like literally, the worst thing happening on planet Earth on display on Twitter. And then we give money to Israel. So it's really hard to be a huge fan of, anything. Although, granted, I am a huge fan of Elden Ring right now. I've been playing that shit like crazy. I got that game 2 weeks ago, and I have 48 hours in it. Pretty much all game time. It's the reason why this episode... I'm not even going to lie with you. It's the reason this episode is late. That game is crack cocaine. The feeling... the release of tension after defeating a boss that you spend probably 3 hours trying to beat is words can't describe it. Like, they need to just get Elden Ring into the hands of some of these homeless men, and I think that they won't have to do Trank anymore or Fent. Like, Fent is probably nothing to the feeling of defeating Radon. Like, I'm not even kidding you. Defeating Radon after 4 hours. Riding horseback, getting bombed by a meteor from the sky, and then defeating him after trying and trying for 4 hours is a release of endorphins. I never knew I even had a rush like that. It's while you're playing and while you're close and you see his health bar at 1 HP, and you know that 1 HP is the culmination of 3 hours of playing, you've lost and you've lost and you've lost, and now you've gotten him so low, and if you lose this, you're going to have to try again. Guys, I really can't explain how good that game is. But I was saying that it is hard to enjoy things when you know that, the Gaza Strip is being turned into a rubble. Literally a quarry for cobblestone. They're turning into a stone shop. But, you don't have to think about that stuff while you're playing Elden Ring. It's besides the point. And honestly, it's not even a point, because you're just focusing on not destroying your controller or computer or monitors in fits of rage, but also it doesn't even cross your mind. So, escapism, I am pro escapism now, fully pro escapism. If you want to watch 45 episodes of the show where that guy kills girls, but he's hot, so it's okay, do it. Go watch that. If you want to listen to, the equivalent of 2 weeks worth of murder podcasts from Serial Radio, do it. Escape. Do whatever you have to. I used to be kind of against that, and not necessarily against, but we should be grounded a little bit in reality, but reality is by far the worst thing. So, I mean, as long as you're not doing Fent, I'm all game. I'm all for it. Do whatever you want. I, it's bad. It is bad out there. Let's see. I think yeah, so presidential immunity. So this happened really recently. Oh God, I hate when I mean, I can't even look at the news without them trying to make me sign up for. This is how bad news is now. I can't even open up the news without them asking me to sign up for. Guys, I will never sign up for your thing. I will never do it. I can get the news for free elsewhere. Watch how quick it is. President immunity. Now I don't have to go to Reuters. I'll click on the first one that's available. Oh, and look, it's free. Now I don't have to sign up. And honestly, Reuters, if you make me do that again, I'm never doing another Reuters. I mean, I'm just never gonna I'm never even going to read another headline from Reuters. So this just passed. And I'm going to breeze over this because I really don't even understand it and I don't really care, but it is news, so we have to cover it for posterity's sake. What is presidential immunity? Broadly, it is referred to as the legal theory that past and current presidents have some protection or legal accountability. In the context of Monday's Supreme Court decision, it is a ruling that Trump and others have absolutely absolutely immune to prosecution for actions taken while exercising their quote-unquote core constitutional powers and entitled to the presumption of immunity for their official quote-unquote official acts. It does not provide a shield for private or unofficial acts. So, of course, when this came out, everyone's like, well, what's official and what's unofficial? And they're like, why don't they just do an official act to kill their political opponents? If it's official, and I think those people are I guess fear mongering, and B, I mean, honestly, that will probably never happen. People are saying that this makes the president a monarch, or they're saying, good job, you've made kings now. And I don't think anything has really changed. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but hasn't the president always had a little bit of immunity? Like, Obama's not in jail because he called for the bombing of a wedding. Like, that's some sort of an immunity, right? Like, if a private citizen called for the drone strike of a wedding, they're looking at a little bit of maybe an itsy bitsy amount of jail time, in like maximum federal security prison. But if the president does it, we clap and we elect him as president for the second term in Obama's case. So I think a lot of people are blowing this out of proportion. This I mean, the question of what's official and unofficial is so vague that, I mean, we got to start asking Joe Biden if his offshore accounts and wherever are official or unofficial. Like, see, the loopholes have always been there. This really doesn't even really, I mean, change. And guys, I'm no lawyer, but I don't see much change here. All these things, people get so upset. They're like, well, they overturned Roe v. Wade. Well, they just turned it back to the states, which is, I mean, really, if you want to get a little bit technical, it's better if it goes to the state because your vote literally counts more during a state vote than during a national vote. If you're voting on something nationally, your vote counts against everyone in the whole country. Whereas if you're voting locally in your own state, then you have a higher your vote literally by numbers is a higher percentage of the total. So I mean it's maybe better. I do like in the debate though they were talking about Roe v. Wade, and Trump is like, yeah, there's doctors taking kids and they're punching them when they are out of the womb. There's this guy. Trump literally said there's this doctor, this single doctor, I don't even know his name, who just took the baby and put it aside, and then they're like, well, we'll figure it out later. We'll figure out if we want to abort this later. I don't know if that's true, but if it is, that's monstrous. But I mean, it's just so funny hearing. I mean, I that debate was just. I mean, it was just so good. I think it will live in infamy as probably the most important presidential debate of all time, because it's like, it sent people into a spiral, a mental spiral of who am I going to vote for? Democrats, so-called free-thinking Democrats, when the one person that they were going to vote for is literally senile, and they're still going to vote for him. But I mean, I don't know what the presidential immunity thing even means, so we're going to move on. If anyone has any comments about that or wants to explain presidential immunity and how it's any way different than what's already going on, please let me know, because in my head, nothing's changed. Literally nothing has changed in my head. I mean, the president, I feel like, has always had a little bit of immunity. Like, anyone who can call a nuke, they've got to have a little bit of immunity already. Let's continue with the news. We're going really fast.
Forming a committee to investigate 2 senior employees. This is coming days after.
Gen Zers are so disillusioned with the economy that they think it's okay to commit fraud. Interesting. In Q4 of 2023, 42% of Gen Zers admitted to willingness to engage in first-party fraud, where they dispute a purchase with their payment provider despite the purchase being legitimate. This is significantly higher than any other generation. The next highest is millennials, with only 22% admitting to engage. Wow, I didn't even know this was available to us. So first-party fraud. So you say that you got something. I mean, and guys, I'm not saying I would engage in any of these fraudulent activities, but isn't all of the money insured? And aren't you, like your bank, insured for a little bit of money? Like, I've had accounts, like charges to my account that I've disputed that were literal charges, and they just gave me my money back. Now, I assume what these people are doing, they're saying, oh yeah, someone's been buying a lot of Starbucks on my account recently. I'm going to dispute that. And apparently 42% of my generation says that they are willing to engage in first-party fraud. I mean, those prisons, if they actually like found these people, and also 42% admitting on a questionnaire that they would do this, you know that number is actually higher, because this is you're not even counting into the fact of the people who said no just because they're putting their, even if they're anonymous, they know that the dad is there and whatever, the IP address. I mean, this is what I would be thinking if I was doing it. I'd say, of course not. I would never do that. I would never do that. Right? I would never cancel. Yeah, there was a really weird fraudulent charge to my account. It was like $1,000 for rent to some company. Yeah, that was not me. So if you could give me that back. They're like, dude, you are the worst at doing fraud. You might be the worst at doing fraud. Just some guy who's trying to get his rent paid for free, and he's like, dude, you've paid this every month for the last 3 years. Yeah, I don't know. Someone might have my card and is trying to pay my rent. It's really weird. Yeah, I lost my card and now they're buying me coffee. Guys, they're buying me coffee. It's really annoying, and they're buying it at all the local places I love. They're like just you're on the phone with them and they're like, "Dude, you are just can you you're going to they're like, "I don't even want to cash this in because you're bad. You're so bad at doing this." Here's another. I mean, we are rapid fire going through these new segment. Grinder, famous gay sex app, is fined $6 million for sharing sensitive user data. Grinder was fined 65 million in Norwegian kronen. I don't even know what the money is there. It says NOK. Apparently their inflation is really bad if 65 million is approximated to 6 million here, by a Norwegian court after a thorough investigation revealed the company's unlawful sharing of sensitive user data with commercial partners. Also, God, these Norwegian names are the worst. Forber Kerpendets director Iger Liz Beavervik hailed the court's decision as a crucial victory in safeguarding online consumer security. She emphasized that the ruling sends a strong message to companies engaging in commercial surveillance. Yeah, I saw a recent thing like this happen in America. And so the problem with LLCs is an LLC is considered a person, right? Because you don't want to be liable. So the company becomes a separate entity and they are held responsible. That company, Amazon, the person out there, Amazon, is committing all these crimes and has all these lawsuits against it. So they're paying all these fines so that, people within the staff and CEOs aren't on the hook. So it's Amazon. And because you can't take Amazon and put it in a prison, the only thing you can do to them is fine them. They can't get the death penalty if they kill someone. Boeing. I'm looking specifically at you, Boeing, right now. So they can't get the death penalty if they go on a massive murder spree, if suspicious whistleblowing situations. Boeing can't go to jail for that. And if they commit massive amounts of like consumer data breach, fraud, they're not going to go to jail for any of that because it's a company. So the only thing you can do is fine them. So when a company, the only thing you can do is fine them, it's what's $6 million to Grindr? They're probably a $1 billion company. That's like 6 million to a billion is what, like 1 penny, or I guess 6 pennies out of their total, or maybe 60 bucks to their 1,000. I guess $6 to their 1,000. So it's not much. It's like if you made $100,000 and it's like someone's saying, "Hey man, yeah, you got to pay $600." You're like, "All right, yeah, I'm chill. I'm literally I'm fine with that." That's crazy. A Grinder. Also, what type of information do you think they're sharing? The app Grinder. It's the world's largest social networking app for the LGBTQ community. Grinder is it's like Tinder, and the thing with gay people that's interesting is that I this is how I think gay people work, is it Grindr works less as a dating app and more as a Uber Eats for ass and dick, essentially. So you like swipe, and then you find an order, and then you're like, hey, come to my house at this time, and we commit violent acts against towards each other. And I mean, it just sounds like it literally probably just sounds like WWE wrestling for 25 minutes, and then your grinder date, quote unquote grinder date, leaves. That's how I think Grindr works, from what I've heard and the stories I've heard, and the things I know about the gay community. Is it's a very sexual community, and it was, I mean, the gay being, I mean, LGBT, I mean, specifically gay was born in almost deviancy. I mean, and look, I'm awesome. I'm awesome with the gays. Me and we're like this with the LGBTQ community here on this specific podcast. We're pro gays and trans and lesbians. We love the lesbians here. Lesbians are just dudes, and they're always down to chill. But there is a specific curious of violence among the gays. That's all I'll say. That's all I'm gonna say right there. Because I don't really even want to say anything more. Because I'm scared for what it means. I mean, it is a specific deviancy, and not in the way that, not in the Christian deviancy. It's like in the almost mythical, biblical deviancy, where it's like, well, okay, I don't mean that biblical, but I mean like, it's like, wow, like you see these people brandishing their cock on like gay pride parades. It's like, wow. It's like, wow, okay. Go off, queen. But also, wow. That's, it's not, I don't even know how to dance around this whole, it's out there. It's beyond the scope of comprehension for me. It is a very, and maybe I just need to be re-educated on this subject. Maybe I'm ignorant, but it does seem to me, and I've been to a couple of like these gay events, and not gay as in like this sucks, but like gay as in literally gay, like I've been dragged to drag shows, and it's very strange. I don't know. There's no other way to put it. It's just, I mean, it's just abnormal, as in the definition of not the norm. It's like, it's not happening every day. It's not everywhere you see a man with a beard grabbing money from people and stuffing it into his bra. I mean, it's not, you do not see that every day. And because you don't see it every day, it is abnormal. And because it is abnormal, it strikes me as, wow, I'm in a new land. I'm in a new realm right now. I've entered the realm of mythos. It is, and I can accept it for that. And that's where we're gonna chill with it right there. All right, let's continue on with the news before I dig myself into a ditch I will not be able to come from. Oklahoma, Alabama have now have AI powered vending machines that sell bullets. I actually really like this, and it's because I like this idea of vending machines selling bullets is, I mean, straight out of a video game. If you've ever played a video game, they have the first one that comes to mind is like BioShock, and they have the circus of welcome to the circus of value, and you go there and you restock on bullets because bullets are a very precious thing when you're killing frenzied zombie type, pretty much fentanyl addicts, which is what you're killing in that game. I mean, they come in clutch. So having a vending machine where you can just get, I mean, I want these everywhere. I want these everywhere. And I mean, that way, if you're ever low on ammo during the, it'll be fun to loot them too. Like those of us who survived the coming apocalypse, it'll be like you come across one of these and it'll be like, wow, I can restock all my items, and now I can, you level up, and maybe you find a new rifle. We need to start selling rifles and rifle upgrade machines and stuff that spit out bump stocks. And I mean, just even saying that word will probably get this video taken down, but I'm talking about it in the video game sense. We're talking about video games here. We're talking about we're talking games. We're talking games. We're talking loot. We're talking loot in games. We're talking legendary loot here. And we're talking loading up at a vending machine in Alabama. It's no secret that Americans love guns. Not only do nearly half of Americans say they live in a household with guns, but the U.S. beats out every other nation on Earth when it comes to gun density. The second most dense country for guns is Yemen. It's not even close. The U.S. is actually the only country that has more guns than people. And because of that fact, I don't think anyone will even ever try to invade America on our soil, especially not from the south. Because if Mexico tries to even for a second invade America to take back Texas and California and stuff like they used to own, I mean, you want to remember the Alamo. It will be, honestly, it would be crazy. I think that the average household in Texas has like 8 guns. It's like 8 guns per household on average. And you know how many people are in Texas? There was I think in like Missouri, Joplin, Missouri, there was a tornado that went through, and the aftermath of the tornado was just guns littered on top of like wreckage. So it was like they were just finding all these guns. They found like 40,000 guns, and there was like a 2,000 person town. It's like it's a stockpile of weaponry. Honestly, if we didn't have guns, we would probably have to even worry about Canada, and they'd come in with sticks or something and just run us over. The vending machine company behind this new trend, American Round, says it uses artificial intelligence and facial recognition technologies to verify that the buyers are of legal age to buy bullets, so it's slightly more rigorous than buying a Twix. There are shockingly few regulation around ammunition purchases in the U.S., and few that exist at age-based. Federal law says you can have you have to be at least 18 years old to buy ammunition for long guns, like rifles and shotguns. And if you want to buy bullets for handguns, you have to be at least 21. As such, American Rounds has created an identity verification mechanism for its bullet vending machines that can supposedly verify how old a person is by... Oh, interesting. What if it's one of those... What if it's like... The only problem with this is like if I shave, I look 18. So I won't be able to... Especially when I'm wearing my hat backwards like this, I definitely look like a cool skater kid. Definitely not 25. I look 18, guys. Trust me. But if I walk up to there and try to buy, you know, .40, what I don't know, MNP 40 for my pistol, and I go up to the thing and I put my face in front of it, and it scans me and it says, "Sorry, you're not old enough." I mean, can you like flash a badge or show your ID or something so you can? I mean, if I'm on the run from zombies, of course zombies, and I I run past one of these, how fast can I get my loot? I love that headline too. Gun vending machines. I really didn't even that wasn't even on my radar of things that were possible, but this is why America is the world of ingenuity. AI has opened up a branch of AI or guns. I mean, ammunition. And the next thing literally is probably gun vending machines. You walk up and you're like, well, I'll put in $800 and I'll get a plastic 3D printed weapon. It'll 3D print it right there on your. I mean, I guarantee you this will happen within the next probably 10 years. On demand weaponry. It's a big market. It's a big market. Okay, let's listen to this. So after the debate, obviously people have been a little flustered. And here's our favorite Dr. Fauci talking about Joe Biden.
Because my interaction with him was what I describe in the book, and what happened even subsequent to what I described in the book after I got out. He's very probing in his questions, very analytical, very calm about things. When you go in to brief him, Major, you better really know your topic, because he's going to ask you very relevant questions. And he's very reflective on things and just doesn't jump out with conclusions or anything, but is very analytic. So my interactions with him, I have to say, have been very, very positive.
Did you see the debate?
I did.
Did anything about that, what you saw, medically alarm you?
I can't say. I think it would be inappropriate to say that, Major, because when you're just looking at someone on a one-shot...
God, I hate this guy. This guy single-handedly ruined 4 years of everyone's life. Literally everyone's life. He came out and he had this huge head, not literally, but like this was his one chance. He's been alive forever. Literally, he started the AIDS pandemic, and allegedly, fake news, but you never know. You literally never know. But I mean, I guess he cured AIDS, and he wanted that spotlight again, and he found this moment, and he blew it way out of proportion. I mean, we don't even know how far out of proportion this was. We don't even know if... I mean, they had a counter. I remember this specifically because I think I think I talked about it on the podcast like 2 years ago, whatever. They had a death counter live streamed on the bottom of like every news channel with like the deaths. It was just ticking up the deaths. It was like 400,000, 200,000. It was like, hey guys, deaths are down this month. It was like, what are we talking about? And then it was a big debate of like, well, this person died of pneumonia, but he may have had COVID, so let's just put that as a COVID death. It's like, oh yeah, this guy fell off a building, but he had COVID, so technically he died of COVID. And it was like a lot of that was happening. We don't even know how bad COVID really was. And it's cringe to even talk about, to bring up the C word on a podcast of all places. Christ, what am I doing? No one wants to hear anything about... I mean, this guy's trying to be relevant so bad. He wants relevancy so bad. He made his own documentary. He literally made his own documentary called like... I think it was literally just called Fauci. All caps. Like, this guy has the biggest head of anyone. He has the ego of like a famous actor. I mean, he literally like produced and directed and like financed a documentary about himself while COVID was happening. He's like, guys, I'm saving the world. I'm saving the world one vaccine. Well, I don't know, I'll say multiple vaccines at a time. Guys, in the first one, if the first one doesn't work, the fifth one definitely will. That's what I have to say about that. God. Oh, God. I mean, the COVID era was such a fever dream. It doesn't even feel real. Like that honestly, they had me for the first couple months. I'm like, whoa, man, maybe this is real. And then I got it. I literally got it. I got it twice. I have it hanging on my wall back there. And it was just fun. You know, I didn't really have, it was like one day of actual like living hell where I was at like 100 degrees. But after that, it was just like no taste, and I was like eating food. It was like kind of sad not being able to taste, but it was like, that was it. I guess a lot of people probably died, but a lot of people die anyways. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna go into the whole COVID thing, but I'm just glad I don't see people wearing masks anymore. I mean, I barely could do that then. I definitely can't do it now. When I see someone in public with one of the, I mean, God, I'm like, what generation? I mean, were you in a coma for the last 5? Were you literally did you just wake up from a coma? I saw a picture of these astronauts that came back from tested, like they went to like Arizona or something to prep for Mars, like a Mars mission, and they were just out there in Arizona in the desert, like sampling rocks and stuff. And they were out there with no communication, I assume no communication, for like 2 years. And I saw a picture recently, and they were all still like they're like really kind of scared. It was kind of funny. I'm like, whoa, they actually have an excuse because they were on Mars, and you know, and they were playing on Mars. Okay, well, let's go into TikTok time. I saw these funny these skits. There was a lot of these types of. There's a lot of these little skits from after the debate. So.
Got this, all right? Number one, the dudes, convicted felon. Say Trump's a convicted felon over
every answer. All of them.
Felon, all right? Russia bad. Russia.
This is the Biden's debate team trying to drill him right before he goes on stage.
Real bad.
Real bad.
Who win?
Don't like them.
Ukraine, good. Zelensky, more money. Billions to Ukraine.
More money.
All right, our border is secure. What is he talking about? Wide open border. What are you, nuts? Aliens are cool. LGBTQAI+. We love the gays,
Can't
Joseph.
get enough
We
of
love
them.
the gays.
You're gay. I'm gay.
You're gay.
We're all
gay. All right, the economy. Hey, Joe, focus. Focus, all right?
Hey.
Shiny thing.
Remember the fun.
They throw
Yeah,
keys.
Roe v. Wade, abortions, have them. Everybody have them. Wait, Joe, wake up. Hey, wake up. Joseph, don't fall asleep.
It's the
That's
number one on the list.
Give me the adrenaline.
More?
Yes, we need more. This guy's a freaking passing out old.
All right, Joe, wake up.
Adrenaline shot is ready, and boom.
Boom.
There we go. Daddy likey, huh? Daddy likey, huh? All right, Joe, focus.
He's perky.
Continue. All right, don't talk incest. You didn't shower with your daughter at an inappropriate
You
age.
were conserving water.
Yeah,
for the
you're going
environment.
green, okay? Don't slip and fall.
Wait, did Joe Biden actually shower with his daughter at an inappropriate age?
Do not slow your words. And listen, if Hunter comes up, he's amazing. All
He's
right?
the smartest man
you know. And do not say the N-word, Joseph.
We're live. We can't call it.
I know you love it. And guess what? If
We
you don't
know
say
you
the
love it.
N-word, you get a little treat.
Double stop.
Double stuffed
double
Oreo
stuffed
cookie.
Oreo.
Last but not least, do not insult Israel. Don't you
You
dare.
love the Jews.
You
You
love
can't get
the
enough.
Jews. So I think we're
We're
good.
ready.
What's that smell?
It's like someone pooped their pants.
Joseph!
That's good. I like those little the little skits are fun to see as they as they pop up. Here's this. Here's an interview with Biden after.
And if you stay in and Trump is elected and everything you're warning about comes to pass, how will you feel in January?
So I mean, I don't even know. Like, they used to make fun of Trump for being orange, and they've literally done the Trump makeup on Biden.
If you stay in
Alive, to make him look
and Trump is
alive.
elected and everything you're warning about comes to pass, how will you feel in January?
I feel as long as I gave it my all and I did the goodest job as I know I can do. That's what this is about.
So, I mean, Trump's cashing it in. He's saying, "Hey guys, at least I tried." He says, "If I lose, at least I tried. I did my best. I'm alive," which is a surprise to me and surprise to everyone surrounding me. I heard some murmurings. A little birdie told me that, and by a little birdie I mean the internet, Twitter, said that Kamala Harris might be the next running person to replace Joe Biden. But then after that, Joe Biden says, "Hey guys, I'm not giving up. I'm good to go. Get me back in there, coach." Which honestly is, Joe Biden staying in the race is only good news for Trump. It is only good news for I said this probably at the very beginning of this year, that this election is going to be a monster landslide in Trump's favor. It might be one of the biggest landslide elections of our generation. I mean, no one is going to show up and vote for Joe Biden because they've been lied to. This is the problem the Democratic Party has ran into. They have been lied to and pandered to every single time, and nothing ever happens. Biden just posted, he's like, teachers should make a livable wage. He tweeted that 3 times during his presidency. And the comments are like, who's going to tell Joe Biden he's the president? So, I mean, these people, with the thing with Democrats, and someone else, and I'm not going to take credit for this. I don't know. I can't give credit because I don't know who said it, but they said that the measurement of success for Democrats is the intent, whereas the measure of success for a Republican is the results. So when you go at something with the intent, as a Democrat does it, hey guys, we're going to be trying to we're doing this to try to reduce greenhouse emissions or whatever. That's the intent. And everyone's like, yeah, dude, that's good. That's good intent. That's good intent. You're a righteous individual. And then when that fails, they say, oh, that's fine because at least you had good intentions. So this is why everything fails, because they're not a results-based party, quote unquote, right? Whereas a Republican, they're like, we are going to, whatever they're going to do, we're going to get guns in the classroom. That's their thing, and they're going to do that. If they try and if they want to, if that's their thing, they're going to try to do that. And if they don't get results, they go back to the drawing board, and maybe they change a law. Maybe they pack a new, Supreme Court justice in there until they get their results. That's the main problem with the Democrats, is they don't play the game that everyone else is playing. Because they're like, honestly, they might not even really care to play the game because they're making money either way. They're getting paid either way. That's the thing, is they just want to like pander and talk, grandstand, be like, well, guys, at least we tried. That's literally what Biden's saying. He's like, well, I want to just say I did the goodest try I could do, and that's literally what he said. I'm not gonna slander his name by saying he said goodest. But I mean, that's their main issue. If they literally just wrapped that up and figured out how to fix that and do stuff, maybe their political party and all their supporters wouldn't feel like they were getting backstabbed every time they got. I mean, And also, the Democrats feel like they have no option. And actually, literally, I think they didn't have an option because there was like no primary election. It was like, hey guys, Biden. Oh, by the way, that's it. Like, there was no debate with everyone on the stage, like Marco Rubio. And, you know, when they did all that, like Jeb Bush, all those people are on the stage and you got to see them talk with each other. And Trump came up with like a bunch of weird little nicknames for everyone. There was none of that for, I don't even know this I don't even think they did that for this election for either person. This was kind of advertised as the rematch of the century, which is like, I mean, I guess what they're going for. But let's continue on here. This guy is crazy. Occasionally I'll come across the craziest TikToks I have ever seen in my life. This guy, I think, might be a ex-Nazi. I don't know. Like, this guy's in a wheelchair.
How do black people misbehave?
They do crime, they beat up everybody, do traffic violation. They are lazy, just collecting money from the government, don't take care of their children.
Yeah, I mean, this guy, I think, might be a escaped SS member, or like, I don't know. He was definitely part of some sort. Like, this guy fought in World War II and not for the winning side. Somewhere along the and now he's just in a College of the Performing Arts t-shirt, riding around in his mobility scooter, talking about how much he hates black people.
They're good singing well and playing sport well.
What makes them lazy?
In Africa, you don't have to do much.
This is not lazy, and I'm lazy.
Right.
Okay, so this is lazy skin.
Yes.
You know,
I mean, this guy's wild.
a white woman.
No, you're not right. You have the lips of black people, everything black.
Oh.
And he talks like, and he has a German accent. This might be actually
What's
Hitler.
black about me? My lips are black. How about my
Yeah.
eyes and my forehead? And this, I have white woman hair. Look.
My head is such hair. It's
Yeah. So and then he starts talking. I'm not gonna play the whole video because that guy's insanely like. I didn't even know racism like that existed anymore. I thought it was more like, well, we don't, you know, we like them, but just not around here, not around these parts, you know. I thought that was the racism that was going on. I didn't even realize that brand, his specific brand of racism even existed anymore, where they're just like, just that racist is crazy. From now on, that's what I'm going to imagine when people say that you're racist. I'm like, Jesus, I don't even know anyone who's even close to that amount. All right, let's play this video.
Alright, what's up guys? So today I'm going to be teaching you how to make piss air. So right there, that's 7 jugs of piss. And right here you need a fan. What you're going to want to do, take the fan.
Yeah, I mean, this video is so cursed. I don't even know if I can I don't even know how this shows. This showed up on my For You page, and you can see it has like 1 million views. It has like 1 million views, and it has 31,000 likes of this guy putting a fan in front of jars of piss.
What you're gonna want to do?
This makes you question a lot of things. Like, this guy can vote, for instance. Makes me question that.
Take the fan, put it in front, and then so the piss air will go in the back of the fan, and then the front of the fan will spray the air. Then now you got a fragrance and the piss, beautiful air. And so get you some piss air. It's hygienic. It smells good. And yeah.
So I mean, yeah. This is tutorial. That's a good tutorial. He did a hashtag tutorial, just in case you guys didn't know how to make piss air. In case you didn't know. Alright, let's watch one more TikTok. What's this one? Oh, this is good. there's no real audio. This is so for the listeners at home, this is a video of two porch pirates racing against each other to steal a single package. So this is how bad it is. And I'm going to guess this is California somewhere, just based off of generic crime. Here they are. They're fighting each other. One pulls a knife out. So here comes the FedEx driver, box in hand. He scans it, drops it, takes a photo. A car comes up, and a car's already waiting. Takes a photo and then leaves, and then boom. It's a race. It's a race. They're both out there. They're both... Who got there first? Yeah, this guy definitely got there first. So I think this guy does have dibs and can claim it for his own. So... I mean, this is crazy. What was in that package? I want to know what was in that package. He opens it up. It's like someone ordered a dragon dildo from Amazon.com. A glass dragon dildo. He opens it up. He's like, "Oh shit, man!" And I think it sounded like maybe Hispanic. I don't know, but yeah. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please share with a friend. If you didn't, I'm sorry. I'm tired. It's midnight. I work tomorrow at 7 a.m. So, I mean, there's a lot of things going wrong in my life. But if you did like this episode, please drop a like, drop a comment below. Even if you didn't like this episode, tell me exactly why and how I should end my life down below. That being said, thank you for listening, and goodbye. Oh, wait, no. There it is. That classic outro. Goodbye.